Charles Schwab just out with a new trader sentiment survey to gauge investor behavior into year end and beyond. Let's bring in Charles Schwab trading and derivative strategist Joe Mazzola. Joe, happy Friday. So
Hey, John.
The election had a big impact on sentiment, but some people were selling, at least mega caps, into that. What happened?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to look at it. I think the bump that we saw post-election really gave client sentiment. At least that's what they're telling us. Gave a little move to the upside. We saw the kind of the rotation away from maybe some of the high beta names into maybe a little bit more cyclical names. Interesting to see though that the sectors that were bought were healthcare, not something you'd normally expect, kind of following that move. But IT continues to be a big buy in terms of some of the names in particular. NVIDIA, Palantir, AMD. So, you did see the AI related names, but I think interesting on the sell side were some of the names that had nice moves up to the election, and then of course big moves after the election. Apple, Disney, and Tesla. So here you go. You continue to see Tesla set all-time highs, and it looks like that was something that clients faded a little bit.
To what extent do you see clients chasing momentum?
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting because this is one of those what are they saying versus what are they doing kind of things. They're telling us they're really, really bullish from a sentiment standpoint. So we actually asked them attitudinal versus behavioral, and we're hearing from them that they're about as bullish as they've been in many years. But the rotation that we're seeing, John, is a rotation away from kind of the single stock idiosyncratic risk, a little bit more into the ETFs and mutual fund space. So clients are kind of moving away from stock picking and moving a little bit more into the indexing and looking for ETFs as a whole.
Okay, on saying versus doing, they're telling you that they're not buying more crypto, but is that true?
That's a great point. If you look at our top 10 buy list for the month of November, IBIT and MicroStrategy were both on that list. So yeah, and maybe it's looking at it in terms of the way the question was asked, right? Maybe they're not actually buying the spot Bitcoin, but they are looking for some of the different kind of plays as a way to have that exposure. And John, I would just kind of call out the volumes that you're seeing, not only at the underlying level, but look at the volume explosion and the options for both of those names, MicroStrategy, IBIT, in all of those ETFs. You're really starting to see some heavy trading within those option series.
Is crypto maybe a guilty pleasure? Have you seen enough data in the survey versus what people are doing to be able to say one way or the other? I mean, people feel like they're supposed to say that they don't love it, but they can't help but snap up a little more MicroStrategy.
I think that there's a couple stocks that we consider mega caps that might be falling under that whole meme stock right now, and I think you could make a case that. To a certain extent, some of the crypto ETFs are falling into that category where you're starting to see clients trade it because they see that there's opportunity, to get in and out and make some money. And that's fine. I mean, we have an investing population, we have a trading population. But the activity that I see within that, makes me look more so that, these are trades as opposed to underlying positions that people are taking for the long run.
Are clients trying to time the market in mega caps?
That's interesting. What I would say is that clients are being selective in what they're buying. So as opposed to, and I brought this up earlier when I talked about the net sell. So it wasn't necessarily buying all the Mag 7. I mean, they were fairly selective, selling Apple, selling Tesla, and so that's not just buying across the board. What I think they're looking for is they're buying on dips when they get the opportunity, and they're selling on rips. And like I said, if you look at what we saw with Apple and Tesla, those are both stocks that set all-time highs at the end of November into December. So we'll see with some of that momentum wanes. What I would call out is this, John, the breadth that we're seeing is really starting to dissipate a bit. So it's becoming a much more concentrated rally within a few names. And I don't know how long that can sustain, but there's a chance that carries forward through at least the end of the year.